Hey everybody, it's Jesse again, and you're about to enjoy another edition of Gen X Thinks. So I was reading an article about Gen X, and it basically said that Gen X was possibly the greatest generation ever, and we were definitely the coolest. I just thought that was a really interesting article, and it went through the list and explained why. And they had actually done a study of us through through late high school and through college and as we entered the workforce. That was a really interesting article. It was about, and a couple of things that I hadn't thought of. It was about how we ushered in the digital era. Everything was like analog and post-industrialist and stuff when we were born, but now and through our childhood and teens, it has switched over to an entirely digital online thing. So we've been at the forefront of one of the largest changes to humanity ever, and it's been our generation who has done a lot of the work and and ushered in a lot of these new ideas. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, us being the coolest generation of all time, that just goes without saying. Nobody had style like us in the 80s, and nobody ever will. And also on this episode, I'd like to talk about my two favorite celebrities. And I just recently, like within this last week, I was just, looking up stuff online and whatnot, and I just now found out that they're both Gen X. So I was following them, and I'm not really one of those people that that are like celebrity worship or idol or whatever. I just kind of follow them. They're interesting, and I like what they say, and I just happened to look them up in the last couple days on Wikipedia just to see when they were born, what generation, and they're both Gen X. So the first one I'd like to mention is J.K. Rowling. And another interesting thing about her that I just read is that the UK, England, has a larger percentage of their population is Gen X than ours over here in the United States. So Gen X actually has a bigger presence and more impact over there in the UK, which I had no idea. I had no idea that was a thing. I didn't even know if they considered themselves Gen X, to be honest. So for all my British followers, if I have any, welcome to the club. I now realize that you are true Gen Xers, and I appreciate your time. But J.K. Rowling, and I started following her because of X. I started following her on X because she's in this argument. It's an epic argument, and if you're on X or you're a J.K. Rowling fan or whatever, I don't want to get into the politics of the situation and all that, but it's just an epic argument, and it's really fun to watch because she's arguing with these trans whatever, the activists or supporters or whatever, this trans movement. Because and she's just pointing out just basic biological facts, that that's a dude, and they just get all out of sorts over it, and she's just using, she's just stating the simple small truths, and it's just like she's just like Conan the Barbarian smashing squirrels with a baseball bat. It's an epic fight on X she's having with these, so it's really entertaining. So follow J.K. Rowling on X if you're on there and and you're not politically biased one way or the other so bad that you can't. But if you want some entertainment, check that out. That's a good thing. But yeah, so, and I was told that all of the cast of the movies and stuff, they've all turned their backs on her because she supports actual women, winning trophies and stuff instead of dudes doing it. So I never would have believed in a million years that would be like like a hot button topic that people would argue about. That women should win women's trophies, but hey, to each their own. Whatever, whatevs. Let them do it. Let them have at it. So I guess I'm a fan of J.K. Rowling's. I've never read one of those books. I've watched. I think I may have watched all the movies. I know I've watched the first 3 or 4 or something like that. I watched most of them. But I like the movies. All right, and the next one is Elon Musk. I just found out that he's Gen X too, and the thing I like about him, and I've been following him actually longer than I have J.K. Rowling. He's the rare billionaire that's not, he's not part of that club that whatever. He's weird in his own way, but they're all weird in the same way. You know what I mean? So, and he's actually, whether right or wrong, whether you agree with him or not, he's doing what he thinks needs to be done to help humanity. He's actually putting his money where his mouth is to try to help humanity, and I honestly believe that because I've watched him on Joe Rogan, and I followed him not really closely, but you know, I paid attention to him, and he actually thinks he's doing good for humanity. So whether he is or not, you know, I'm not going to let him put a chip in my brain, but whatever. Yeah, but he's epic too, just like J.K. Rowling in that way that he'll get on there and just say stuff like a normal person would. You know what I mean? That, you know, that like Bill Gates and those other billionaires, you know, you never see Bill Gates get on there and just post this hilariously funny and inappropriate meme, you know what I mean, blasting on another billionaire. Elon Musk, because one of Jeff Bezos's rockets failed, Elon Musk tweeted that he couldn't get it up, and then he's just fired on Bill Gates, you know, just seeing another billionaire just, you know, fire on Bill Gates like a middle schooler, just, you know, just totally juvenile stuff, making people laugh. It's hilarious watching that. So I like those two because they just seem like normal people, you know what I mean, to me anyway. I could be wrong, but they are definitely entertaining to follow on X if you're on X and that stuff. If you don't follow them, even if you don't agree with them, it's worth following those two just for the pure entertainment value. All right. I read this while I was doing research online, messing around. I've read this several different times that people think that Gen X feels pinched between two bigger generations, the boomers and the millennials. And I was just wondering, from my viewers here, if you wouldn't mind commenting, have you ever felt that? That just like hit me out of left field because I never paid attention to that crap. I mean, maybe that's just me, and quite possibly it is, but I never even considered that there might be. I knew the baby boomers because, you know, that's where they got their name. It was a baby boom, so there was a lot of them. But it never really occurred to me that there were a lot of millennials and we were like, you know, like lost in the middle. I've never thought Gen X was lost. I've never felt like we were lost. I've always felt like we were trailblazers, you know, forging a path, you know, something more along those lines. We were rebellious and moving into a very quickly changing future. Probably the fastest changing future of any other generation. In my lifetime, we've gone from no video, you know, the rabbit ears with the 3 channels that you know, and I was the remote, to massively multiplayer online games with thousands of players and HD graphics and all this crap, and you can put those goggles on and basically do all your work online from home and watch TV and play your games and everything just through these goggles. It's crazy how far we've come just in my lifetime. I was just wondering if anybody else had an opinion on that, whether we feel as a group lost between those two. I've just never felt that, never even considered that or heard it before, but I read it several times online from several different sources, so it's supposed to be a thing. And this is not necessarily a Gen X thing, but it goes along the same lines as the story of kind of Florida and Floridians kind of parallels Gen X, because we have these hurricanes come through. We're sticking out there in the, between the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean, and we have these hurricanes come barreling through. And you live through the first one, your first time as an adult out on your own, and one comes barreling through, and you're scared and you're hunkered down, and it blows over, and you walk outside, and there are a couple trees down. Maybe the power's out for a few hours, maybe even a couple days, but it's just a big pain in the rear. It's not the catastrophe you thought it was going to be. And and so, all right, hurricanes, whatever. And then, a couple more come, and you're watching the news, and they're doing their projected forecast and drawing the lines right over the top of your head. And you go to the store and the gas station, and you got to wait in line for 2 hours to get gas, and you go to get water, and all the shelves are empty because everybody within 50 miles bought all the water because some guy put a line over, your swath of Florida. And you finally get your gas, and you drive all over the place and collect enough water for a few days, to keep your family safe and everything. And then the time comes, and the hurricane turns and goes away and doesn't even come near you. And that happens 2 or 3 times in a row. All right, by the time that 5th or 6th hurricane comes, you're like, what else? Whatever. We got another, all right, okay. I'll believe it when I see it. When I hear the wind whistling outside my door, I'll believe I'll get worried about a hurricane or something. It's just, now that's inland. Let me be specific here. That's inland. That's us that live inland. The people on the coast living right on the beach, now they do have real hurricane worries. Those are 2 different things. Now, I live inland in the middle, so it's different for us. It's like almost like being from 2 different countries as far as when you talk about hurricanes. A whole different mindset, a whole different, they have need to buckle down. Yeah, but I was thinking about that in my life in Florida, and how we've experienced and how we are about hurricanes now. We're just all right, I just keep some water now all the time, so I don't have to go looking for it at the last minute, and then I don't even worry about it. If it comes, it comes. I've been told so many times that it's coming right at me, and then it doesn't. So, but I feel like that's how our entire generation is about swine flu and bird flu and economic collapse and acid rain and all the other multiple things that we've lived through and been screamed at, cried wolf at, and so we're just kind of jaded. We're like, okay, I'm as ready as I can be, so we'll see what happens. I just feel like that's how our entire generation kind of sees things. And please leave a comment down there if you disagree, if you think something that I'm wrong about that. And I'll leave you there with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and thank you all the subscribers. I appreciate your votes of confidence. I hope you really enjoy these. I'm putting effort into them. And that's it for now. I'll see you on the next one.